It's Monday, January 8th, 2024, and the Iowa caucuses are 1 week away. Donald Trump will win those Iowa caucuses overwhelmingly and launch himself towards his third consecutive Republican nomination. He is the leader of a fascist movement, extremist and dangerous. It is supported by many lieutenants. None of them is more rotten than the gentle lady from New York, Elise Stefanik. It's important to understand this about Elise Stefanik, who is smug, arrogant, strident, belligerent, and deeply self-satisfied with her role in what she calls the most watched interrogatory in congressional history. Of course, these answers are amoral, indecent, and utterly reprehensible. It is why 2 out of the 3 university presidents, Harvard's Claudine Gay and the University of Pennsylvania president, have resigned. But overlooked in the exchange is the degree to which it indicts Harvard as a whole. Because the rottenest character on display in that exchange was not from the people answering the questions, it was from the person asking the questions. She is, hands down, one of the most dishonest people, the most cynical in the United States. She would do anything for power. She has succumbed to its taste. It's an aphrodisiac for her, or narcotic, and she's all in. Elise Stefanik once called herself Will Hurd's best friend in the United States House. She has become a fascist. Fascism isn't so much an ideological disposition as it is a highway to power. And that is what Elise Stefanik wants, power. And it's why she has done a 180-degree flip since she first ran for office. Today, she is angry and she is ready for her moment. Let's watch Elise Stefanik on Meet the Press with Kristen Welker.
Do you still think it was a tragic day? Do you think that the people who stormed the Capitol should be held responsible to the full extent of the law?
I have concerns about the treatment of January 6 hostages. I have concerns. We have a role in Congress of oversight over our treatments of prisoners. And I believe that we're seeing the weaponization of the federal government against not just President Trump, but we're seeing it against conservatives. We're seeing it against Catholics. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so proud to serve on the Select Committee on the Weaponization of the Government, because the American people want answers. They want transparency, and they understand that as you look across this country, there seems to be 2 sets of rules. If your last name is Clinton or it's Biden, you get to live by a different set of rules than if you're an everyday patriotic American. I've been clear, Kristen, if you go back and play the full speech I gave on the House floor, I condemn the violence, just like I condemn the violence of the BLM riots, but I also importantly stood for election integrity and security of our elections, which if we don't have that, we do not have a democracy. So the real threat to our democracy is these baseless witch hunt investigations and lawsuits against President Trump, whether it's Tish James or whether we see in the D.C. Circuit Court, and that is undemocratic and it's shredding our Constitution. And you know who agrees with me, Kristen? The American people. That's why President Trump is winning in poll after poll against Joe Biden.
The Justice Department has indicted a number of top-name Democrats as well, including the president's son, twice. So, I mean, a lot of critics would argue that undercuts your argument. There are 2 systems of justice.
Kristen Welker, the host of Meet the Press, is coming into her own. Her style is unique, but she lets her subjects reveal themselves. And Elise Stefanik told the American people a great deal about herself. She said 2 things, both disturbing, outrageous, and dangerous. Let's unpack them by watching Kristen Welker ask Elise Stefanik if she will condemn Donald Trump for his remarks that echo Adolf Hitler talking about poisoning the blood of the nation. Let's watch.
President Trump recently said he referred to migrants as, quote, poisoning the blood of our country. This is language that the Biden campaign, others, says, quote, is parroting Adolf Hitler. Are you comfortable with former President Trump's comments?
Well, yet again, we have the media, which is so biased, which is reiterating whatever the talking points the Biden campaign is giving.
I'm giving you the opportunity to respond. I'm just giving you the opportunity to respond.
Our border crisis is poisoning Americans through fentanyl. It is poisoning people, including in my district, who are dying from overdoses of fentanyl. And you know why? Because of Joe Biden's wide open border, that executive actions he took on day one. So yes, I stand by President Trump, and President Trump also has he has the strongest record when it comes to supporting the Jewish people and supporting the state of Israel, whether you look at the historic Abraham Accords or whether you look at the ability for Jewish students to sue and stand up for equal treatment at schools under the Title VI executive order that President Trump put into place, not Joe Biden.
We should be clear about something, and we should have very little tolerance for what Elise Stefanik did here. Elise Stefanik is indicting the Democratic Party of the United States of America as anti-Semitic when she is a top lieutenant and apologist for a man who spits the venomous language of Goebbels and Stryker and Adolf Hitler. Elise Stefanik is a person who has talked about replacement theory. Replacement theory is foundational to the sick ideology of white nationalism, Nazism. It was foundational to Adolf Hitler's Reich. No person who is an apologist for the language of Goebbels and Stryker and Hitler should ever be allowed to suggest that anybody is anti-Semitic. Because the truth of the matter is this: Elise Stefanik supports the man who, when the Nazis marched and killed in Charlottesville, chanting, "Jews will not replace us," she, Elise Stefanik, stood by the man who said there were good people on both sides, meaning good Nazis. And let's be clear about something. The FBI did not attack the Capitol on January 6th. The claim that they did is the MAGA version of the Nazis' Reichstag fire. It's a lie. And it is a lie aimed to take power. There are hundreds that have been sentenced through jury trials to federal penitentiaries as convicts because they have been found guilty of serious felonies, of assaulting, attacking, and bludgeoning police officers. Some, like the Oath Keepers, Stewart Rhodes, have been found guilty of seditious conspiracy, as has the Proud Boys leader and founder. These men are domestic terrorists. They came to topple the Republic. They came to end the United States. The insurrectionists of January 6th carried the Confederate flag across the threshold of the Capitol Rotunda 158 years after the Battle of Gettysburg. It's important to understand this movement seeks control and power to take from you. Elise Stefanik is not on your side. She hates you. She has contempt for you. You mean nothing to them. And yet, millions of you, so angry, and many justifiably so, will fall for the oldest lie there is. What is that lie? Trump's already told us. It's this: It's the idea that there's something better than the system we have, that it can be replaced by a strong man, incorruptible, a man like Trump, strong. I alone can fix it, he said. When our politics turns away from ideas and towards the politics of the individual, of the strong leader, the man, the magic man who can fix all things, if only the people give him their full and absolute and unconditional support. As we reach that place, which for many of our fellow citizens, we long ago reached, the nation stands at an abyss. This lie must be confronted directly, clearly, forcefully, and relentlessly. Elise Stefanik is a disgrace of epic dimensions, and she is a liar, peddling one of the great lies and one of the deadliest in all of history. Remember this when you see Elise Stefanik lie to you the next time. The language that she defended is Hitler's language. And the domestic terrorists that she called hostages are convicted felons. Don't trust Elise Stefanik. Don't trust Donald Trump. Don't trust any of these people, because what they want is to take as much as they can from you for themselves until there's nothing left at all. Read some history and you'll understand exactly who Elise Stefanik is. She's a person right now who's in the state of becoming. Typically, people like Elise Stefanik, when they're in a state of becoming as part of a fascist movement, what they metamorphosize into, usually, if history's the judge, is something very, very evil.